it wasn't a problem getting that down. I managed to get updates for all the season mods I've got here, and the guy has finally done the... Is my cruise control still set to how it was before? Yep. Finally done the winter one, so I managed to get the frosty update for which is winter, and the heavy winter one as well, which made me happy. He also updated a Paris rebuild, which was great. The rush map, there was an update for it, but there's obviously a problem with the file, because I downloaded it and I couldn't unpack it, and then when I had a look at the comments, a lot of people were having that issue. So I'm just taking a sip of my coffee. I had to get rush map off here, which is fine because I don't have any garages there. We haven't been there, so it's not really affecting the gameplay as such. And also because the Russian DLC, I don't think it's too far away. Now, I always planned when that came out I wasn't going to bother with the rush map anymore, so I'm just not going to worry about it. So that was all good. So I updated the pro mods and everything else, added the Paris rebuild, and downloaded the new season mods, updated ones. But what I didn't do is I didn't download the current one I'm using, which is the early autumn one, because I thought I had the updated version, the latest update one for that, and which was one of my issues of trying to get this, the reason why it crashed every time I tried to load into the game, because I put it all in. And the thing with the pro mods, now when you got rush map with pro mods, the load order for pro mods is, I shouldn't have done that because I need to go to the far right, don't I? Because I'm in Spain with this annoying road toll setups. Yeah, there's a different load order if you're using pro mods by itself, with the pro mods mod, than there is if you're using it with another map. Wrong button. So I had to, because I'm used to using it with rush map, I actually had to go and search for the load order for pro mods by itself. So I did that, got all that sorted, started the game up, and of course as it was loading in, it crashed. And I went, oh dear, oh, why? So I got rid of Paris rebuild to see if that was the issue. Same thing happened again. I thought, okay, maybe because I'd moved the load order for the Pro Mods Middle East. Normally I had it under the normal Pro Mods, but I moved it up to the top, so I thought maybe it's that. So I put it back how I had it originally compared to what they said it should be. It still did it. It crashed again, and I thought, oh no. What am I going to do? Alright, well, I'll get rid of the Paris rebuild. I've done that. I've redone this. Yeah, I thought of something else, because I wanted to play, but I don't want to play without the Pro mods. I don't mind not having the rush map because it doesn't affect it. But what I don't know, which I could easily find out by just setting up another save, is whether or not my garage in Madrid would still be there if I got rid of Pro mods. Pro mods might have adjusted Madrid, which you do get that. You with Pro mods, even though it adds new countries and a few more cities, but it also, with the ones that are in the base game, it sort of adjusts some of them. Sometimes it makes it bigger, looks different, and sometimes you can have a garage location in a different spot than it would be in the base game. So I didn't want to lose the only garage I had. It wouldn't help us at all. So I was almost ready to scrap it and stream something else. And then I realised what I'd done. When you download the Pro mods, you've got to first do a definition file, and you go in, you go to a screen and you set it up for the graphics quality you want. If you've got a standard PC, high performance PC, or extreme PC, whether or not you've got the special transport DLC, whether or not you're using it with Rush Map or you're not. And because I do one for high res with Rush Map and one very high res with Rush Map and also without Rush Map, so I've got 4 definitions on the PC there, and I just use whatever I need to use. I'd actually forgot to replace the one that's supposed to work with the Rush Map with the one without the Rush Map, so I realised that I'd forgotten to do that, and I thought, that's what's causing the crash. So I replaced it and started it up, and lo and behold, it crashed again. And I was just, by that time I was really going to go, no, I might as well just do something else, stream something else. But I didn't give up, and then I actually just had in the back of my mind, thought, well, just make sure you have the latest update for the autumn mod. Just in case, and yeah, I hadn't, and that downloaded that and that sorted that out, so I started half an hour later than I normally would have, which means with ATS I'm either going to start half an hour later tomorrow or finish half an hour earlier. ATS doesn't need any more advantage, considering how it's quite a bit ahead at the moment from memory. I think I did, I've got 2 extra trucks and 2 workers already on ATS, and a bank balance that's well ahead of what I've got on this one. So in the interest of fairness for the competition between the two, I've got to make sure I actually stream them pretty much the same amount of times. Relative, of course. There's been there days where I've streamed one longer than the other. Like, for instance, there was an ATS one where I actually streamed 2 hours longer than I was going to because I was in the middle of a delivery. But I look at that as being okay because it wasn't in that time that I was getting extra cash from doing extra deliveries. I was doing a delivery, which I'm fine with. And the reason why I don't end a stream halfway through a delivery is, especially recently, because all the updates with both games, you get, I can go on any one of them. Oh, we must be out of Spain now. What are we, in France? You can lose your with the update, you can lose your delivery and it resets you back at your garage. And if I get a thing where, say there's an update for ETS one week and there isn't one for ATS, then I lose out on a delivery, making money off a delivery in ETS, and ATS has been given advantage, which, like I said, doesn't help with the competition. The whole point is to see which one is the better one to make money in under the same conditions, pretty much. Oh, you got a new monitor? What'd you get? Oh, and if there is anyone new to the stream that's just joined up, watching, lurking, or whatever, hasn't even turned up in my view account, as it normally takes a while before it does, and you're wondering what the competition is, if you type in !trucks into chat, truck or trucks, one of the two, it'll give you pretty much what this is all about. Basically, the upside is, it's between the two games, the first one to reach 100 million euros or dollars in the bank and 100 garages full with workers and trucks. Yeah, I think in the back of my mind, same, because the ETS is my more favourite one, I think. I don't know why. I really don't know why I like EDS a little more than ATS, to be honest. I just can't figure it out, but I just do. The Samsung M5, is it a 4K, 2K monitor, or just a standard 1080? I suppose it depends on what model your other one, well, what brand really. I've got a Samsung as well, myself, and a Philips. And I can tell you with the Philips one as a 1080, my Samsung is a 4K. But when I'm doing this, I've got to have the 4K, the Samsung at 1080. And the Samsung one looks, the Philips one looks a lot crisper than the Samsung one does, at the same resolution. Okay. Well, what video card have you got? That might have something to do with it more than the monitor. Possibly. It's just a thought. Yeah, which is 4K compatible, isn't it? So you should be... Yeah. Or maybe muck around with the menu. That's what I had to do. I had to change the tilt and all sorts of stuff on my one. I mean, in 4K, the picture is amazing. 1080, for some reason, it's like it's murky. I don't know why. But yeah, I went in and changed all the contrast and everything else like that in settings to get it how I like it. But you think if it's a newer monitor, it'll definitely be better picture quality, don't you? Right, how much further have we got to go? To where I don't know where we're going to. Oh, just 2 hours. It must be France. Yeah, we're in France. So this delivery must be to France. I should drink my coffee. I made the effort to make it, didn't I? Why did it do that to you? Hang on, mate. Let's have a look why that did that to you. Oh, right. Yeah, I see why. Stupid thing. Oh. In this day and age, you think they'd be able to sort that out. They should know what a link looks like. Yeah, you should be right. Oh, Factorio though. Factorio is different. Yeah, probably to Finland, but I'm just following where she tells me, you know, like a good husband. Because apparently I'm married to my GPS because she keeps telling me what to do. And then complains when I do it wrong. Yep, there's some words to get myself into trouble, isn't it? Just a joke. In case before anyone starts. Just a joke. I don't mean it. Not how I think. Publicly. Yeah, Factorio is more CPU intensive than graphics. It has a huge effect on your FPS. It depends on your CPU because I still still too lazy to change down to a low gear, obviously. Even with the RTX 3070 Ti, I still have huge frame rate drops in certain times, like when there's a lot of robots out and about at once. Admittedly, I have a mod that I can zoom out further than you normally can, but yeah, I get FPS drops and I'm running that on 1080. And I shouldn't, not with that card, but yeah, I know with a lot of the stuff's done by the CPU, including some of the graphic processing, because of the way they coded it. It's definitely set for 4K, eh? For your desktop. It should look nicer, sharper. The icons will be a little smaller.
Keep right.
Yeah, that is bizarre, isn't it? Was your old monitor 4K or was that just 1080? Did you say that before? 1080. Well, just try changing your resolution to 1080 and seeing what it looks like that. And if it's similar or better, then it might be an indication it's something to do with your graphics card trying to process the 4K. It shouldn't do the desktop though, that's the thing. In theory, because it uses it's not using that much. Processing power of your graphics card. I know when I'm just on my desktop, my card, well, even though it's set to 1080, it's only using 200 megahertz of the GPU. I think the best idea is just try and process of elimination. Is that one? Oh, what? Oh, yeah, you're straight through, won't you? Please be open. Don't make me reverse. Thank you. Yeah, just process of elimination. Like I said, if on 1080 it looks just as good or better than the old screen, then I think you'd have to possibly put it down to maybe the graphics card.
Keep right.
Because a 4K Factorio looks really, really good. Really good. In fact, 4K anything looks really good. I mean, I'd love to have my monitor on 4K all the time, but it's just a pain when you got two screens and one of your screens is different resolution because of Windows. Especially when I'm streaming, because what it would do when I've got two different resolutions, it moves everything that's on my 1080 screen. When I alt tab out, it'll move it to the screen that my game's on. And then when I alt tab back, it doesn't put it back, it leaves it there. And if I move it over, as soon as I alt tab back into the game, it moves it across. And that's the reason why I've got it both at 1080. We must be getting close now. Oh yeah, I can just see the up on the top of the GPS there, the little flashing radius of our location, destination. Ooh, do we have a question mark up here too? Oh, we do. We've got things we can discover. Uncover with a discover.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right.
That was actually timing, wasn't it, with that coming up. Marcel discovered after my little discover uncover thing. Yeah, I managed to decompile that to hate. Yeah. Yeah, computers can either make you lose hair or regrow your hair. It just all depends. That's why I'm a big believer personally on because there's so many different makers and stuff like that out and different standards, and then you got to have the drivers, and you got to have Windows to be compatible with the drivers, and they don't do all of them because there's so many out there, and then you got standards that if other people use some of it, they've got to pay a bit of royalty, so they try and get around that by doing their own little coding and all that kind of stuff on motherboards and RAM and all that. That's why what I generally do is try and get the well-known products, and especially with the motherboard and video card, stick with the same brand as much as I can with all components.
Exit now.
You know, that's why Asus, because I know I've always had good experience with Asus anyway, especially with the video cards, and yeah, I just stick with the same brand because I know it's a well-known brand. So they've got they're good with the Windows drivers. Windows are good with providing drivers for them. Standards or games and that, because it's a common thing. The games will have their coding in there for the drivers to work with the drivers and that. And you know you won't get issues.
Get ready to turn left.
Same with other brands, you know, like MSI and Gigabyte. All the well-known brands.
Turn left.
Problem is, they cost more than the other ones, but at the end of the day, me personally, I just think spending a little bit of extra money for something I know that will give me a little peace of mind and you know is reliable than taking a punt on a cheaper one. I'm a firm believer on always thinking that the cheaper something is, the more expensive it ends up being. You know, because they're cheap for a reason. And generally, a cheap product compared to an expensive product will end up breaking a lot more often than the expensive one. By the time the expensive one would have broken, the cheap one, you've probably bought 4 or 5 new ones of that cheap one in the same amount of time, and then you've ended up spending more money on 4 or 5 cheap ones than you have on one expensive one. Yeah, it is, but I mean, it just takes a little bit longer, doesn't it, to acquire it, a bit more sacrifice and patience to get it, depending on your financial situation, of course. But for the most part, most of society these days is it's about, I want it now. Yeah, well, you can't take it with you, can you, Aussie? I used to upset people with my view on leaving money behind for children. My view was I spent the time to earn it, I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to spend it, and I'm not going to leave my kids anything. If I had to work for it, so can they. They can learn how to survive. If it comes easy, then you ain't going to put the effort in and you ain't going to put the work in, are you? You're going to expect it like that. That's my view. I wouldn't do that. I probably would. I'd make sure my kids are alright, but I wouldn't. Even if I was a millionaire, you know, if I had like millions of dollars and stuff like that. And I actually came up with this idea. Well, someone else came up with this idea. Actually, there's a millionaire or a billionaire, I don't know what he is, in England who does this, and it's a fantastic idea. And he's got trust funds for his kids, where they get a certain amount of money, but how much they get depends on the job. So if they get a really good job, like being a doctor or something that helps other people, it's stated in the trust fund that they get more from the trust than if they were just doing a job that wasn't sort of like helps people. So if they, like I said, you know, if they become a surgeon or a doctor or something like that compared to working in a retail store, they'll get more money because as a surgeon helping people out and stuff like that, or as a doctor, which I think is a fantastic idea because it also gives your kids an incentive to do something. And I think the difference in pay is quite a lot too, you know, so you can try and why you keep, what gear are you in? Oh, well, that doesn't help, does it? Let's change that to an R2, then I might not. Yeah, so I'm all good for, I'm all good with helping your kids out, but I think there should be limits. You got to learn to do it yourself because one day you won't be around, you know, and other people won't be there to help them. Well, exactly, yeah, you appreciate it more, you know? And I mean, I'm only going by the way, like my grandparents or my parents used to be with things, you know? You used to save up things. back then there wasn't, you know, cheap cars like we got here. We got second-hand cars that are cheap, but back then you bought a car, it was brand new pretty much, and they looked after it. With all their products, actually, they looked after. They also lasted a lot longer as well. But they looked after it because they had more value to money, on money and stuff like that. And these days you get a lot of people get a scratch on the cell phone, instead of not worrying about it or dealing with it or even getting it fixed, they just go out and throw it away and go out and get a new cell phone. You know, they buy a cell phone, a new one comes out 6 months later, they go and buy that. They've got to have the latest stuff. And yet the whole point of a cell phone is to make a phone call, you know. It's like the difference between buying a expensive car with all the luxuries to a cheap car. The whole point of a car is to get you from A to B, but it comes down to what, you know, you'd like. But you end up spending more money. Well, if you got the money, I mean, it's your right, you know, you can do whatever you like with it. But I just think sometimes it goes overboard a little bit, but that's just me. I could be completely wrong, but as usual, I never am. Are we leveling up? We've leveled up. Alright, people in chat. Oh, I've had some drop frames. Again. Twice in a row. Alright, anyway, anyone there, feel free to let me know. I'll give you a bit of time which one you would like me to upgrade. Now we'll go, this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Save you typing it in. Just put in the number either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the one with the most votes is the one that will go. I'll give you 30 seconds from now. Already got the one from Aussie, but if anyone else is watching, of course, if there's no clear winner, I'll end up choosing. Ten seconds. Even though I don't know why I say that, because by the time you hear the 10 seconds on your stream, the 10 seconds would be up. With the stream leg. Right, okay. ADR it is. Two o'clock in the morning. Should I take a sleep? In fact, I will. I think I will go to sleep. And we can do our next delivery mostly during the day. And while I'm going... Oh, actually, yeah, perfect. Oh, that's another point. How's me... you know what? We'll go here first. And then I'll go to the gas station. We'll fill up regardless. Oh, you're doing that again. I don't know why it does that. All right, let's try that again. We go there. Yep. Only to the end. And then we'll go here. Yeah, but then again, Jessica, so I've got plenty of options. But the other thing too is because I'm at the moment till I get another garage stuck with one company. I've only got what they supply, I think. So let's go unlock these. It'll be I'm guessing a dealership and a recruitment agency. Alright, keep your heat on. I'm turning the handbrake off there, game.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
Yeah, sleeping's a good idea. Just looking at that now. Actually, I might as well keep that up because we're going into bumper view for the next delivery, which is probably going to be the last one. I'm going to have to look at for a short one.